Here's what most men don't realize. After 60, your eyes go through something called accelerated retinal aging. The photoreceptor cells at the back of your eye, the ones responsible for sharp detail, contrast, and especially low-light vision, begin losing efficiency. The American Academy of Ophthalmology confirms that this process accelerates significantly in your 60s and beyond. And here's what makes it dangerous. The most critical window for eye repair happens at night while you're asleep. That's when your retina regenerates. That's when your macula restores itself. But if the right nutrients aren't present in your bloodstream during that window, the repair process is incomplete, and the damage slowly compounds, night after night, year after year. The good news? A growing body of peer-reviewed research suggests that certain everyday fruits contain natural compounds that can support that overnight repair window, improve circulation to the retina, and even slow the progression of the most common causes of vision loss in men over 60. I'm Dr. Gregory Holt. I've spent over 2 decades working with older men who are serious about protecting their vision using evidence-based, natural approaches alongside conventional care. And today I'm walking you through 5 fruits, what they do, why the timing matters, and exactly how to eat them to get the maximum benefit. And before we get into it, quick note, everything I share here is educational. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you're experiencing vision changes, please see a licensed eye care professional. Your eyes deserve that level of care. Now let's get into it, starting with number 5. Number 5 on this list is tart cherries. And if you've been waking up with stiff, aching eyes, that gritty, almost sandy feeling first thing in the morning, this is the one you need to understand. Here's what's actually happening. While you sleep, your eyes are supposed to recycle a compound called rhodopsin. It's the light-sensitive pigment inside your rod cells, the cells responsible for low light and peripheral vision. Think of rhodopsin like the battery inside a flashlight. After a full day of absorbing light and processing images, that battery needs to recharge overnight. But in men over 60, that recycling process slows down. And when rhodopsin doesn't fully recharge, the result is slower dark adaptation or contrast vision, and that uncomfortable lag when you walk from a bright room into a darker one. Tart cherries, specifically Montmorency tart cherries, contain one of the highest concentrations of anthocyanins found in any food. These are the deep red and blue pigments that function as powerful antioxidants inside the retina. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that the anthocyanins in tart cherries can meaningfully support rhodopsin regeneration and protect rod cells from oxidative damage, precisely the kind that builds up during the day. There's also a secondary benefit that directly affects sleep quality. Tart cherries are one of the few natural dietary sources of melatonin. And since deep sleep is when your eyes do their most intensive repair work, anything that improves sleep quality is also improving eye recovery. The two are inseparable. How do you use them? 2 tablespoons of unsweetened tart cherry concentrate in a small glass of water roughly 45 minutes before bed. Avoid the sweetened versions. Added sugar drives up blood glucose, which can actually accelerate retinal damage through a process we'll talk about more in a moment. Pro tip: if you can find dried Montmorency tart cherries, eat a small handful instead. The drying process concentrates the anthocyanins. More impact per bite. And here's something I want you to keep in mind as we go through this list. Number 1 is going to change the way you think about what's been happening to your eyes for the last decade. Don't skip it. Number 4, and this one is specifically about what's been happening to your blood vessels, because most men don't realize that blurry vision is often a circulation problem before it becomes an eye problem. As men age, the small capillaries that feed the retina gradually lose their flexibility. Blood flow slows, oxygen delivery becomes inconsistent, and the retina, which is one of the most metabolically demanding tissues in the entire human body, starts to suffer. The result? Blurry morning vision, trouble reading fine print, a gradual dimming of overall visual sharpness that happens so slowly you don't even notice until it's significantly progressed. Concord grapes, the deep purple ones, the ones your grandfather probably grew in the backyard, are among the richest known dietary sources of a compound called resveratrol, along with a family of polyphenol called oligomeric proanthocyanidins, or OPCs. I know that's a mouthful. Here's what matters. These compounds have been shown in multiple studies to support the structural integrity of small blood vessels, improve microcirculation, and reduce chronic low-grade inflammation inside the eye. A 2022 study published in Nutrients found that regular consumption of Concord grape juice was associated with measurable improvements in retinal blood flow and a reduction in markers of oxidative stress, specifically inside ocular tissue. In plain language, the people who drank it regularly had better nourished retinas. How do you use them? Either eat one small bunch of fresh Concord grapes, or drink 4 ounces of 100% pure Concord grape juice, no added sugar, about an hour before bed. If you use the juice, don't chase it with anything high in sugar. That spike in blood glucose will partially counteract the vascular benefits. Pro tip: the seeds are where a significant portion of the OPCs are concentrated. If you're eating fresh grapes, don't spit the seeds out. Chew them. The slightly bitter flavor means it's working. Number 3, and this one is about something almost nobody talks about when it comes to eye health in older men: the tear film. Here's the problem. After 60, the layer of tears that coats the surface of your eye becomes thinner, less stable, and less effective. Testosterone decline plays a role in this. So does screen time. The result is chronic dry eye, but not the kind where your eyes are obviously watering. The kind where your vision goes in and out of focus throughout the day, especially in the afternoon and evening, where you blink repeatedly trying to clear things up, where artificial light starts to feel almost painful. That's a tear film problem, and it's one of the most underdiagnosed contributors to age-related vision decline in men over 60. Mango contains an exceptional concentration of beta-cryptoxanthin alongside vitamins A, C, and E, a combination that research consistently links to mucin production. Mucin is the protein layer that anchors your tear film to the surface of your eye and keeps it stable between blinks. Without adequate mucin, your tear film evaporates too quickly and your corneal surface dries out, leading directly to that intermittent blurring. A study in the Archives of Ophthalmology found that higher dietary intake of beta-cryptoxanthin was associated with a 35% reduction in the risk of age-related macular degeneration in man, one of the most consistent associations in the nutrition and vision literature. How do you use it? 1 cup of ripe fresh mango, not canned, not dried, about an hour before bed. Room temperature, not cold. Cold suppresses enzyme activity and slows absorption of the fat-soluble carotenoids. Pro tip: eat it with a small handful of unsalted cashews. The monounsaturated fats in cashews significantly boost your body's absorption of beta-cryptoxanthin, potentially by more than 40%, according to published research. More of what your eyes need actually reaches them. We've got 2 more to go. Number 2 might be the one you've least expected. And number 1, I'll just say this now, targets the most destructive silent process in aging eyes that almost nobody in their 60s knows is happening to them. Number 2, and this is the one I call the fighter pilot fruit. During World War II, British Royal Air Force pilots reportedly ate bilberry jam before night missions because they noticed it improved their vision in low light. That story has been repeated so many times it's almost become folklore. But what's remarkable is that the science behind it turned out to be real. Bilberries are the wild European cousin of the blueberry. They look almost identical, but they're fundamentally different inside. While blueberries contain anthocyanins mainly in their skin, bilberries are saturated with them all the way through the flesh. That makes their antioxidant concentration roughly 3 to 5 times higher per gram than cultivated blueberries. For aging eyes, this matters enormously. Anthocyanins from bilberries have been shown to accumulate specifically in retinal tissue, particularly in the area responsible for central vision, where they reduce oxidative damage, support the regeneration of visual pigments, and improve the speed of dark adaptation. That's the time it takes your eyes to adjust when you move from bright light to darkness. In men over 60, that transition slows dramatically. Bilberries can help restore it. A double-blind clinical trial published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that men aged 55 to 75 who supplemented with bilberry extract for 12 weeks showed significant improvements in contrast sensitivity and dark adaptation time compared to placebo. These aren't minor quality of life improvements. For a man who still drives at night, these are genuinely meaningful outcomes. How do you use them? Fresh or frozen bilberries, 2/3 of a cup, about 45 minutes before bed. If you can't find fresh bilberries, a high-quality standardized bilberry extract is a legitimate alternative. Look for one that specifies at least 36% anthocyanin content on the label. Pro tip: don't wash them until right before you eat them. Pre-washing accelerates the breakdown of anthocyanins on the skin surface. Rinse gently, pat dry, and eat immediately. That thin blue-purple residue on your fingers after eating them, that's the anthocyanin. It's doing exactly what you want it to do. And number 1, the fruit that tops this entire list for men over 60, pomegranate. I know what you might be thinking. It's messy. It takes effort to eat. But when you understand what it's targeting inside your eye tissue, you'll make the effort. Here's the enemy pomegranate goes after: chronic intraocular inflammation. Most people think of inflammation as something you feel: swelling, heat, pain. But inside your eye, inflammation is silent. It produces no sensation. It announces itself only years later, in the form of cataracts, macular degeneration, or a gradual cloudiness that steals your sharpness without warning. And in men over 60, low-grade inflammatory activity inside the eye is not the exception. It is, according to current research, essentially universal. Pomegranate contains 2 compounds that make it uniquely powerful against this process. The first is punicalagin, a polyphenol found almost exclusively in pomegranate, which has been shown to suppress a specific inflammatory pathway called NF-kappa B, one of the primary drivers of age-related retinal tissue breakdown. The second is urolithin A, a compound that forms when your gut metabolizes pomegranate's elagitanins. Urolithin A has been shown in recent research to support mitophagy, essentially the cellular process that clears out damaged components inside your eye cells and allows healthy regeneration to proceed. A 2023 study published in Molecular Nutrition and Food Research found that older adults who consumed pomegranate juice daily for 8 weeks showed measurable reductions in ocular inflammatory markers alongside improved contrast sensitivity scores. The authors specifically noted that the effects were most pronounced in participants over 65, the exact population most at risk. There's one more thing pomegranate does that puts it at number 1. Research has shown that pomegranate polyphenol can support the integrity of the blood-retinal barrier, a protective mechanism that keeps harmful substances out of retinal tissue. As men age, this barrier weakens. When it breaks down, inflammatory molecules and oxidative agents flood into the most delicate tissue in the eye. Pomegranate appears to actively reinforce it. How do you use it? 4 ounces of 100% pure pomegranate juice, no added sugar, no blends, about 60 minutes before bed. Or, if you prefer whole fruit, eat the seeds of half a pomegranate. The seeds themselves contain additional fiber and polyphenol. Pro tip: pair it with a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil or a few walnut halves. The fat-soluble polyphenol in pomegranate are absorbed significantly better in the presence of healthy fats. And the omega-3 fatty acids in walnuts independently support the structure of retinal cell membranes. You're building a synergy your eyes will actually use overnight. Let's bring it all together quickly. Number 5, tart cherries. Support rhodopsin regeneration and improve dark adaptation through anthocyanins and natural melatonin. Number 4, Concord grapes. Protect retinal blood vessels, improve microcirculation, reduce oxidative stress. Number 3, mango. Stabilize your tear film, reduce dry eye, and protect the macula through beta-cryptoxanthin and vitamins A, C, and E. Number 2, bilberries. The highest density anthocyanin fruit available, with clinical evidence for improved contrast sensitivity and night vision. And number 1, pomegranate. The only fruit that actively targets intraocular inflammation, supports retinal barrier integrity, and triggers cellular regeneration inside the eye itself. Eat them 45 to 60 minutes before bed. Add a small healthy fat. Avoid dairy for 90 minutes around your fruit. And stay consistent. The research shows cumulative effects build over weeks, not days. If your vision noticeably improved tomorrow morning, what's the first thing you'd want to see clearly again? Your grandchildren's faces? A sunrise? The score on a game? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. If this was useful, hit like and subscribe. I put out evidence-based, practical content like this every week, specifically for men who aren't ready to accept decline as inevitable. I'm Dr. Gregory. Take care of your eyes. They're the only pair you've got. I'll see you in the next video.